Hey, welcome in. Music's playing. We're just about ready to get a Friday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show underway. The tales of heartbreak and government dysfunction from North Carolina and other areas ravaged by Hurricane Helene continue. That is where we begin a Friday edition of the Bruce Hooley Show. We got played on the dock workers strike. That was all for show. To no doubt prop up the Biden administration, which is in bed with the unions, but not as many of the unions are in bed with them as they would like. Also, we have news on the Columbus City school front and the flap over whether the Columbus City schools will do what they're legally obligated to do, which is bus students who are in the district and choose to attend private and charter schools. The district now says it will bus students during the mediation process. CCS offered to give parents of charter and private school students in the district the stipend that the state allows, about $500 a student. Doesn't begin to cover the transportation costs, and it certainly doesn't begin to mitigate the difficulty parents would have of leaving for work in the morning and having to get their kids to school. And there was a parent's appeal. They turned down the money, and they appealed. And during the appeal, Columbus City Schools is required to transport those kids. They were refusing to do it. They were refusing, I should say, to do it until Dave Yost, the Attorney General of the state, sued them for it. And so good on Dave Yost. And I don't care that Columbus City Schools doesn't like it. It is good that they're doing what they are legally obligated to do. And a better question would be to ask why thousands of students want to go to charter schools and private schools rather than to go to Columbus City Schools. I guess they're under the mistaken impression that as young kids, they deserve an education. So that might solve that mystery. Now let's go to North Carolina, where today federal troops will be going in a week after Hurricane Helene hit Florida's Big Bend area around Tallahassee and then cut a swath of destruction up through Georgia and Tennessee and North Carolina. Yesterday, when I talked to you, the death toll was under 200. Today, it is at 222 and counting. That is awful. And it appears the youngest victims so far are two twin boys who were born on October the 20th. Kaiser and Casimir Williams were with their 27-year-old mom in their house trailer in rural Georgia. When a tree fell on their house trailer, they found the boys underneath their mom, who was trying to shield them. There are also a 7-year-old girl and a 4-year-old boy who were killed in Georgia. And we know, of course, of the 6-year-old boy who was on the roof of a North Carolina home with his grandparents when that home flooded, the roof collapsed, and all three of them drowned. So these horrifically tragic stories are going to continue. And I don't know if the mainstream media will tell these stories because there is the potential, of course, for these kinds of stories to reflect poorly on the Biden administration, which is most assuredly what mainstream media outlets do not want to happen. If you don't believe me, if you just think that's conspiracy and I should put my tinfoil hat on, here's the latest undercover video released by James O'Keefe. He is through a surrogate. And the way this works, they always have a hidden camera on a woman who has gone out on a dinner date with some guy who fancies himself to be, you know, a romantic paramour of the woman, and he gets a little liquid courage in him, and it has the impact of sodium pentothal when he starts to tell the truth. Let me play about a minute of this. This guy is a producer at MSNBC. You're not going to really be that surprised by what you hear, because this always confirms the fact that the media is 100% invested in Kamala Harris and the Democrats. But I just want to play it so you hear it in the words of a guy who works for MSNBC. There you go. If you needed confirmation, good old Basil Hamden just gave it to you. That is why you won't see on the NBC Nightly News a story that you definitely would see. You would see it, and you would see it, and you would see it again if Donald Trump were in the White House, or if they could pin this on Republicans the way they pinned Hurricane Katrina on George W. Bush. Yesterday, I played you 3 audio cuts from a Florida National Guardsman who went to North Carolina with his own helicopter and a friend's helicopter and tried to start rescuing people. And he lamented the fact that there's been no federal response, no troops going in, nothing like that. Lest you think that's an outlier, here's a story out of Lake Lure, North Carolina, which is one of the hardest areas hit. This is where most of the casualties have been so far. The gentleman's name is Jordan Sideholm. He woke up Saturday morning, saw a Facebook post that tens of thousands of people were commenting and sharing. A family was stranded on a mountain in Banner Elk, North Carolina. They'd run out of water, and they had just enough food to last 2 days. So this guy, who was a former head of a sheriff's office narcotics unit, researched the mountain chain where the family was located and found a place to land his helicopter on his mapping software. So he loaded food and water into his helicopter, and off he went. Now, he asked permission from the Charlotte Douglas International Airport's air traffic control tower and was given it, because when you're in the air, you don't want to run into another plane, a private plane, a big airliner. So he got permission. He flew through. He took his son, who's a high school junior, with him. And they first went to the Lake Lure airport, the nearest small airport, and they cleared what they were going to do with first responders. Okay, so he's going through channels. He's doing this the right way. And they said, yeah, go for it. So he went up and he rescued 2 women stranded high up on a mountain, took them to a community center, got them out of danger. And then after he did this and he posted it to social media, you can guess what happened next, right? He was inundated with desperate messages from desperate family members who said, hey, my parents, my grandparents, my brother, sister, father, mother are stranded in these mountains. Can you go get them? And this was a precarious mission they had undertaken in the beginning. And so he asked his son, should we go? And his son, and this kid must be tremendous, said, hey, do you want to go back out there and try to help today? And his son said, there are so many messages. I don't think we cannot not go help. In other words, we got to go. We got too many people who are depending on us. So they went back and they spotted a lady on a mountain waving, flagging them down. And so they landed on a driveway that was collapsing. And this pilot was worried that if he put the husband and the wife in the copter with his son, there'd be too much weight and the copter would be sucked into the rising water. And so he just took the woman, flew her to the airport, and it is there that he was confronted by the Lake Lure fire chief. Now, this astounds me. This is the area where people are dying, people are desperate, and this guy's the fire chief for this area. And the fire chief was like, who are you? What are you doing? I'm going to shut this whole operation down. If you go back, I'm going to arrest you. I mean, this is the lack of coordination, either by the feds or by the state or whatever, putting people in peril and allowing people to die, or at least be severely threatened by what's going on, all because there's no centralized command, no organization. A full week after this hurricane hit, thankfully, there were a couple people at the airport from other law enforcement agencies who said, hey, I'll get this guy away from you. You go take off. You go get your son. By the way, he left his son on the mountain with the dad, with the husband. And he went back and got him. But this is where we are with this rescue, which has been horrifically mismanaged by the Biden administration. Here is a North Carolina resident, Jordan Lanning, a survivor of the carnage in Asheville, talking about the Biden administration's lateness to the party on this disaster relief.
It's too late. I mean, they took too long. It took them 5 days to get here. It's disgraceful. I mean, they keep saying we the people. No, there is no we the people. It's them versus us.
So that's heartbreaking. The death toll will be astronomically higher than it needed to be. Elon Musk made this point the other day that the federal government excluded Starlink from its efforts to bring broadband access to rural North Carolina. Not just, recently, but this was part of a bidding process. Remember the $42 billion that was spent to connect rural America to the internet? Nobody's been connected. Elon Musk was part of that. He won a bid. They didn't want to do business with Elon Musk. If people had access to internet access, far fewer would have died than have.
Sunny, warm afternoon, high today 81. Partly cloudy for tonight, low 57. Sunny clouds for tomorrow, high 77. And then clear skies tomorrow night, low 55. Sunny clouds, warm day on Sunday, breezy, high near 82. And then clear Sunday night, low 48. Sunshine, it'll be a cooler day on Monday, the high at 67. And then sunny Tuesday, high 69. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Dan owed an unbelievable amount of money to the IRS.
I got behind on my taxes. It's a horrible feeling.
He was in denial.
And when I got those letters from the IRS, you wanted to act like they didn't exist.
Finally, Dan turned to Optima Tax Relief, the leading tax resolution firm. A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau, they've resolved over $1 billion for their clients.
Optima got me a settlement with the IRS. These people are really people-friendly. It was every bit of a new lease on life for me.
The fast action and the great results made Dan's head spin.
I felt like I was in a dream, and it's real. And I have paperwork to prove they got the job done, and life is good.
For tax help you can trust, call Optima now for a free consultation.
If you're worried about what's going to happen with the IRS, stop worrying. Make the call now.
Call 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433. 800-965-1433.
Stephen A. Smith. I'm doing for one reason. If the name were Trump instead of Emhoff in this story, it would be all over the news right now. And yet Trump's running for president and Emhoff is married to the woman who's running for president. But still, Daily Mail, echoed by the New York Post, has a story. And I know Post, Daily Mail, but just listen. Doug Emhoff, Kamala Harris's husband, accused of striking a woman he was on a date with at the Cannes Film Festival back in 2012. They say they have 3 friends of the woman who talked to them about this, that she had told them this afterwards. One is a male, at least one of them is a female. The guy says that she called him from the car with Doug, that maybe they had been drinking, and he didn't like how she talked to the valet to get to the front of the line. He smacked her, she smacked him back. That's basically the story. I have the reporter from the Daily Mail who broke it, Josh Boswell. Josh, thank you for joining me, Bill O'Reilly, and Stephen A. Smith.
He called one of the friends. It's Sue, or how
refused to comment. You reached out to the campaign. They
AM radio to always be on, delivering news, sports.
Look at this.
AM radio also delivers vital emergency information we need it most. Text AM to 52886 and tell Congress to pass the AM radio for every vehicle act to keep AM radio in cars. And visit dependonam.com for more information. Message and data rates may apply. You may text STOP to stop.
Hey folks, Donald Trump Jr. here. Let me ask you this. Does inflation feel worse than we're being told in the news? That's because the official inflation rate doesn't tell the whole story. Since January of 2021, the cost of living has increased by 17.9%. You can't get that money back. But what you can do is stop your losses today. How? By diversifying your savings into a gold IRA from my friends at the Birch Gold Group. When you're done, your money will be parked in a tangible asset with proven history. To see how it works, get your free info kit on gold IRAs by texting the word prepare to 989898. Birch Gold is the only gold company I trust.
What do the states of the storm zone need, Mr. President?
Sorry?
What do the states of the storm zone, what do they need after what you saw today?
Oh, in the storm zone?
Yes.
To the number 989898 to get your free info kit on gold IRAs from Birch Gold.
Hey, look at me. I have new ad copy for the Battleground Talkers Tour. The title is Democracy Under Attack. This is the most pivotal election of a lifetime. I've told you that. Not because of inflation and immigration. Those are big. But because of free speech. You've heard the Democrats want to take away free speech. We'll be speaking freely on October the 22nd at Genoa Christian Fellowship in Westerville. Myself, Jack Windsor, the Ohio Press Network, and host of the Windsor Report here on The Answer from 5 to 6 p.m. every single night, along with Mike Gallagher and Hugh Hewitt. Where's Larry Elder? What happened to Larry? I was thinking last night it'd be great to meet Larry. But you know what? I have no doubt we'll find a suitable replacement for Larry, and we'll have politicians and others seeking political office there as part of a 7-city, 6-state tour. Get your tickets, $5 general admission at 9890answer.com. Or better yet, use the promo code Bruce25 for $25 off a VIP ticket. That gets you in for the food beforehand, a meet and greet with the hosts, and preferred seating. Rally with us. No, you don't even have to wear a rally cap. Just rally with us on October the 22nd at Genoa for the Battleground Talkers Tour. Now, I know you're having a hard time squaring how Joe Biden, the guy you've been told is sharp as a tack and gets more done in an hour than the rest of us do all day long, could not be on top of this North Carolina, Georgia, Tennessee, Florida, South Carolina flooding situation. Maybe we should, in fairness to our president, yes, he still is our president, play a little audio from him yesterday after he visited Georgia and North Carolina. I mean, he's got eyes on sight, so now he's got much deeper perspective on what is going on. Correct? Correct? Not so correct.
What do the states in the storm zone need, Mr. President? Sorry? What do the states in the storm zone, what do they need after what you saw today?
Oh, in the storm zone?
Yes, sir.
I'm wondering what storm you're talking about. They're getting everything they need. They're very happy across the board.
The storm. Storm zone? What? Storm zone? Oh, I didn't know which storm you were talking about. Wow. That is, that's actually what's going on at the White House, where Axios reports Joe Biden has not scheduled a public event in 43 of the 75 days since he dropped out of seeking a second term. This, they say, is a reflection of the 81-year-old president's unpopularity and age limitations, and I would add toxicity to the Harris campaign as we approach his final, 3 months in office. He's got 3 more months. We could have more hurricanes, Israel, Hezbollah, Lebanon, Gaza, Hamas, Russia, Ukraine. What could go wrong? Vice President Kamala Harris has had just one campaign event with Joe Biden since he dropped out of the race. And if there's any good news in Biden getting out, it is that First Lady Jill Biden has also largely withdrawn from campaign events, but that could be because Harris doesn't want her out on the campaign trail, because Biden's popularity rating, his favorability rating, is lower now at 40.6% than Donald Trump's was at its lowest point during the pandemic. Trump, lowest number was 43.2. Biden would kill for that approval rating. He's at 40.6. Since July 21st, when Biden dropped out of the race, he has scheduled just 2 public appearances before 11 a.m., none before 10 a.m., and only 5 after 5 p.m. All his publicly scheduled calls with world leaders and all his meetings with world leaders, where you see him like sitting in a chair, half asleep, reading very quietly and very haltingly, note card they've shoved in front of him. All those calls have taken place between 11 a.m. and 5 p.m. Now, some aides and allies of Biden, according to Axios, say they believe he has been aging more rapidly in recent months. You think? But they credit this to the stress of the job. What stress? The man works from 11 to 5. He doesn't even work. And they also say the legal troubles of his son. Oh, yes, there's a weighing on him. You know why they're weighing on him? Because he took millions of dollars in a government corruption scandal that he's just hoping he can get to the end of his presidency before it's completely and totally proven. But with this media, it won't, of course, be even looked at. Biden is set for 2 interviews since July 21st. He's the president. not because he's old. It's not because he's aging. It's not because of Hunter. Because he's senile. And they can't trust him. He didn't even know which storm. Huh? What storm? Storm? Storm zone? What storm zone? White House spokesman Andrew Bates, who lies for a living, says Biden works, and I quote, around the clock, long before and after you see him on camera, as he pursues more, this will make you barf, historic results, which he has done weekly throughout his presidency for the American people. Yeah, right. Andrew Bates, he's going to go into writing fantasy novels after his service in the White House. They say Biden planned to be partaking in a robust campaign for Kamala Harris out on the trail this week, but then Hurricane Helene interrupted. First Lady Jill Biden said to be planning a campaign travel swing through battleground states during her fall break from teaching. You know who they are going to put out there? Obama. So if you, like me, react to Obama's voice like fingernails on a blackboard, get ready to shove earplugs in your ears. Curiously, Kamala Harris's campaign did not respond to a request for comment about her failure to do campaign appearances with Joe Biden, who, let's recap, shall we? Last week referred to J.D. Vance as Secretary Vance, which the White House then corrected in its official transcript. The week prior to that, in New York at the United Nations, Biden got up for his speech and said, welcome to Washington. No, this United Nations, unless they moved it, is in New York. Then, of course, there was the event in Wilmington, Delaware last week where Biden was introducing world leaders who appeared on the stage with him, and he said, who's next? And then he got mad. Who's next? That was a bad look. So this is just a farce. It is a farce that he's the president. It is a farce. Yes, this is the failure of J.D. Vance in the debate. Who's in charge, Tim Walz? Who's in charge at the White House? Kamala Harris' judgment. She's in charge of 25th Amendmenting this buffoon at a time where America is engaged in all kinds of crises around the world. At that time, you could have used the longshoreman strike. You could have used Ukraine, Russia. You could have used Israel. You could have used China and the Asia Pacific. JD didn't bring any of it up. She's never answered that question. And she, of course, won't answer that question. They say Biden wanted to help Harris by scoring points in the battleground state of Michigan by welcoming the University of Michigan's championship football team to the White House. Sorry about that, everybody. But yes, they did win the championship. To the White House, but they were unable to get Michigan on Biden's schedule. I know you hate Jim Harbaugh, but if you're conservative, my guess is Harbaugh had a little something to do with that. Sorry, can't make it.
With SRN News, I'm Rich Thomason. The newly released September employment report vastly exceeded the expectations of analysts, with 254,000 jobs created last month. At least 215 deaths blamed on Hurricane Helene. The Carolinas especially hard hit. The disaster continues to unfold. Back to the docks for workers at ports from Maine.
How soon or how the campaign, they didn't deny it. They refused to comment. Stephen A. Smith.
My question is, how long have you been working on this story? How soon or how recent was it that you received word of these allegations that are being leveled against the potential first man?
So I've been working on investigations into Doug Emhoff for a little while. I mean, you can see, so I work for the US website dailymail.com, and we published in August a story about Doug having an affair with his daughter's teacher, grade school teacher at the time, her nanny. So I've been investigating him for a while. This story I've also been working on for several weeks. So, this was a thorough investigation, something that I put a lot of work into.
If it were Trump or anyone related to him, it would be on every TV show that is on right now. And that's why I think in the interest of fairness, you should look at it.
I don't blame you for bringing up the story because in fairness to Donald Trump, which is not something you hear me or most people say all the time, it is absolutely true. If this were him, it would be all over the place. It would be printed. It would be publicized everywhere. We also have to take into account 2018, when then Senator Kamala Harris, obviously when the whole Brett Kavanaugh situation, not as far back as 2018, but when Brett Kavanaugh was obviously running for the Supreme Court, I think it was around that time actually, and I remember her wearing all black and saying she was wearing all black, and I wore black today in support of all survivors of sexual assault or abuse. And it was a hashtag, believe survivors, et cetera, et cetera. And so when you do something like that, it's going to be politicized. And if people believe you politicized it, the second they get an opportunity to politicize something against you or unfavorable to you, they are going to pounce on that.
You are not going to hear anything from Me Too, Time's Up, or any of them at all. Nothing. But if it were a Republican or a conservative, they would be denying the person accused of due process, because that's what they do, unless it's someone on our side. So what I've just told you is absolutely true. I hate that about this country right now. It is the worst thing about America, that the media has embraced the denial of due process for headlines, for clicks, for money. It is disgraceful.
I will openly confess, I would absolutely positively love to disagree with Bill O'Reilly. I cannot. What he said was right on the money in terms of what has transpired with our media, its coverage, in some instances, in terms of the bias, in terms of the favoritism, in terms of the lack of neutrality, and the potential for First Man.
Find at PragerCruise.com. Today's America is full of bloviating pundits who speak with emotion. That's why you need to listen to The Larry Elder Show. Larry is a lawyer, writer, and media personality who speaks truth with facts. The Larry Elder Show, weekday evenings from 8 to 11 on 98.9 FM. The Answer.
If you are looking to beautify your home with a flooring remodel, well, I certainly hope you'll give me the chance to help you with that. Yes, I sell flooring when I'm not here at 98.9 The Answer. It's allowed me to help the family with some of the mounting medical bills that have ensued over the past year, and I'd love to get the opportunity to help you beautify your home with new carpet or with flooring that looks like wood, looks like tile, but is waterproof, scratch-proof, virtually indestructible. Perfect for kitchens, bathrooms, basements, mudrooms, rec rooms, you name it. And all the big brands that you see at big box stores, don't worry. We have all of them, and we can install them much faster than other big box stores can, because they send their own trucks to the mills to pick up the material, and we are serviced by independent truckers, so we don't have to fill an entire semi-trailer. We get our materials faster, we install it faster, and we employ our own installers. So I hope you will look at brucehooley.com and click flooring so I can contact you and we can get your job done quickly and much more economically than you might expect. brucehooley.com, flooring tab, upper right-hand corner of the page. Now, I'm sure you are familiar with the phrase news you need to know. This next headline is news you really do not need to know and won't be surprised by. Former Ohio Governor John Kasich says he will not vote for former President Donald Trump, his one-time presidential primary foe, who, of course, crushed Kasich like a grape in 2016. Kasich, you might remember, this one you won't remember unless I jog your memory, was the last Republican holdout for president before giving up in the summer of 2016. And then famously, John Kasich showed his maturity by petulantly skipping the Republican National Convention in Cleveland, in the state where he happened to be the sitting governor at the time. And then he went and wrote in Arizona Senator John McCain's name for president that November. In 2020, Kasich endorsed Joe Biden over Trump at the Democratic National Convention. Benedict Kasich said on MSNBC recently that he will not vote for Trump, but that he cannot endorse Kamala Harris because he has problems with her economic policies. Imagine how bad her economic policies must be for John Kasich not to endorse them after he pretty much put Ohio in a inextricable fiscal pickle with his rampant, stupid expansion of Medicaid in the state of Ohio after saying, oh, no, it won't have any impact. Yeah, sure. Wherever you've been, John, go back there, shut the door, and don't charge your cell phone because nobody wants to hear from you. Nobody at all. Now, there's a brouhaha in Lancaster where the Alphabet Mafia, the LGBTQ movement, has foisted upon the good people of Fairfield County and Lancaster pornographic and completely inappropriate drag show performances in public in front of children. The Fairfield County Conservatives, that is an official organization, attended city council meetings last month in Lancaster to protest Light the Night with Pride, which was hosted on September the 14th by the Rainbow Alliance of Franklin County. Of Fairfield County. The Rainbow Alliance of Fairfield County. NBC4, of course, NBC affiliate, says the family-friendly Pride event featured a series of speakers, street vendors, food trucks, and an outdoor drag queen show. Okay, it's not family-friendly if it's outdoor where little kids can witness it. And they did. And what did they see? According to Robert Nicely, a Lancaster parent and member of the Fairfield County Conservatives, children witnessed grown men in leotards and thongs spread-eagled in front of children. Hello, public indecency laws. A woman by the name of Stephanie Hall, who is Lancaster's city law director, apparently auditioning to be as ineffectual in her job as Zach Klein is in his for Franklin County, said during a September city council meeting that get how ridiculous this is. The people from the Fairfield County Conservatives went to this event and took photographs. Photographs. What is it they say about a picture? It's worth 1,000 words. Can you take a photograph of something that does not happen? No, you cannot. So they have a photo of a male drag performer in a thong laying on his back with his legs spread-eagled, showing like everything you don't want to see in public from a dude dressed up like a woman. Stephanie Hall, Lancaster City Law Director, do you have laws against public indecency? She said the picture was tasteless, but it lacks context. Huh? It's a photograph, lady. Here's her comment. The video from that night shows the performer in question was in that position for a split second while performing a dance routine. So she doesn't dispute that this drag freak did what is pictured. She goes on, dance, like speech, is an expression that is protected. This is not hardcore pornography. I have been a prosecutor for the past 18 years in Fairfield County, hopefully not 19 if you're on the ballot this fall. And I know hardcore pornography when I see it. This is not it. In front of a kid, in front of other kids. This is ridiculous. Another person who spoke before the city council meeting said, the influx of this type of lewd and obscene behavior gives many in our community pause to how safe we and our children are with the influx of this deviant behavior in our city. Bingo. He asked city council to take action and fault further lewd and obscene events. In other words, prosecute for these kinds of performances. He says these pornographic events and parades are philosophical statements. It says there are no rules about sex. Sex is trivial and sex is for entertainment. Yes, that's exactly what it's done. It's done to corrupt your children, to get them to ask questions, or to traumatize them, or to show deviant behavior. Men dressed up as women, men cavorting as women, men gyrating and twerking and exposing their butts with thongs to young kids who are not mentally mature enough to handle this. I'm in my 60s and I don't want to see that, okay? So there's another quote here from this moronic law director, Stephanie Hall. Saturday's show was a bit risque. I never need to see anybody's butt in public. Oh, see, we do agree on something. Never, ever, regardless of who they are or what they look like. I think it's completely inappropriate personally, but professionally, I know there is a difference between inappropriate and illegal. They are two different things. No, they actually aren't when they apply to children. They actually are not two different things. For adults, okay, I'll listen to your argument. So then she went and got two other woke prosecutors who don't have the courage to confront this kind of deviance in a city. She says, we all three watched the same video and looked at the same pictures, and we all came to the conclusion that nothing happened that was a chargeable criminal offense. How about the corruption of a minor? How about public indecency? How about lewd behavior in public? We did not see anything that amounted to visible genitalia. None of that was present. Didn't see any of it. It was all covered by the performer's actual costume. No, it wasn't. There's no, listen how ridiculous this is. This dude is dressed as a woman in a thong, gyrating in front of kids, spreading his legs as wide as he can, and Stephanie Hall, the law director of Lancaster, has the temerity to say there was no sexual conduct. You're stupid. You're just stupid. No, you're not stupid. You're ignorant. Ignorance is the availability of facts that you choose to ignore. She's ignorant. Now, hopefully, our Ohio General Assembly will take care of this. There's House Bill 245, which defines adult cabaret performances as things that are, quote, harmful to juveniles. The bill would prohibit these shows in all locations other than adult cabarets, meaning a nightclub, bar, restaurant, or similar establishment. You would have to buy a ticket to do it. Get that done. Get that done in the Ohio legislature. Get that done in the lame duck session. Attach it to whatever you have to attach it to, but get that done and protect our kids. Gary Click, Jenna Powell have done a great job protecting our kids from sexual mutilation surgeries, from men in women's locker rooms. Beth Lear has done a great job introducing a bill. State senator who represents the Powell, Westerville area, done a great job introducing a bill that would keep transgender people out of bathrooms that do not comport with their biological sex. This bill, attach it to the same kind of legislation and get it done and protect our kids. And you Lancaster conservatives in Fairfield County, you keep fighting the good fight.
Warm afternoon, high today 81. Partly cloudy for tonight, low 57. Sunny clouds for tomorrow, high 77. And then clear skies tomorrow night, low 55. Sunny clouds, warm day on Sunday, breezy, high near 82. And then clear Sunday night, low 48. Sunshine, it'll be a cooler day on Monday, the high at 67. And then sunny Tuesday, high 69. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Real people in Ohio are learning more and more about this real Sherrod Brown.
I thought I knew Sherrod Brown, but I didn't know his voting record.
Sherrod voted to let transgender biological men compete in women's sports. What?
And Brown will allow puberty blockers and even sex change surgery for young kids.
For kids? Under Sherrod Brown's spending and inflation, everything is more expensive. Groceries, gas, housing, even electricity. Sherrod sure had me fooled. He votes a lot differently in D.C. than he talks here. Washington has clearly changed Sherrod Brown.
Sherrod's not the guy we supported years ago.
Not at all.
And what Sherrod Brown's voting for? It's way too liberal for me. Sherrod Brown let us down.
Sherrod's changed. That's why we need to change senators.
Senate Leadership Fund paid for and is responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee. www.senateleadershipfund.org.
When it comes to safety, don't settle for anything less than the best. At Elite Fire Services, we protect what matters most, your business and your peace of mind. Our expert team provides top-notch fire safety inspections, and we service fire extinguishers, fire sprinkler systems, backflow preventers, fire alarms, kitchen hood suppression systems, and exit lighting. Visit elitefire.org today to get a free quote and ensure your fire safety is in elite hands. Because when it comes to protection, you deserve the best. Elite Fire Services, your safety is our mission.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
Hold off on purchasing your first order from Balance of Nature because I've got some information you need to hear. If you go to balanceofnature.com to buy their popular fruit and veggies supplements, a discount offer will pop up. It may say 20 or 25% off your first order. Don't click that because if you use my code, you'll get 35% off your first order, plus free shipping. Now, my special promo code is MikeG. Use my code and save big. Here's another bonus. Balance of Nature has a risk-free money-back guarantee, so go ahead and find out for yourself what so many of us already know. There's no other product out there like Balance of Nature when it comes to fruit and veggie supplements. Whether you order online or call them direct, use the promo code MikeG and you'll get this special offer of 35% off and free shipping. Just call 800-246-8751, 800-246-8751. Use the discount code MikeG or order online, balanceofnature.com. Use the discount code MikeG to get 35% off.
Again, I keep stressing, get your tickets, Battleground Talkers Tour. The tickets are dwindling, and if you want to be there on October the 22nd and hear what's said on stage, we're not broadcasting this event, so if you want to get in, and look, our station events crush. We had a great time at the presidential debate in Hilliard. We had a phenomenal time at the Republican primary night when we gathered up in Powell. You don't want to miss this. It's in Westerville at Genoa Christian Fellowship on October the 22nd. $5 general admission tickets at 989theanswer.com. A little bit more detail on the VIP meet and greet. If you use my promo code Bruce25, it'll take your ticket price down to $104. I know that's a lot, but what comes with that? Okay, you get admission to the VIP area before the program starts. So you'll be able to hobnob with the Salem Network hosts who come in right now, Hugh Hewitt, Mike Gallagher. 2 Ohio guys are committed. You'll also get preferred seating at the event, and you'll get the delicious heavy hors d'oeuvres that will be served beforehand. So Bruce25 is the promo code. At the very least, get your general admission ticket. Go to 989theanswer.com to make that happen. Columbus police are engaged in a rather strange activity today. They are in the 800 block of Cummington Road, which I believe Cummington is in East Columbus. Why are they there? Is there a nasty crime committed there? That's what they're trying to figure out. A woman named Katie Santry precipitated all this. Not her fault. She did the right thing. She and her boyfriend were digging a hole in her backyard. And when they got down a certain distance, didn't look very far from the pictures that I saw, they found a rolled up carpet buried underground. Now, it's interesting. I was cleaning out my yard barn yesterday, and I had some rolled up carpet that I wanted to get rid of. So I took it to the dumpster at the carpet store and disposed of it in the proper way. I didn't dig a hole and bury it. Why would you bury a piece of carpet? Yes, you're thinking, if there was a body in it, you might do that. So Katie, with this strange discovery, went to TikTok. Get TikTok off your phone, Katie. But at any rate, she noted on TikTok that there was this piece of carpet, and then she noted that strange things were starting to happen to her. Her computer screen shattered, and items on her desk seemed to mysteriously move. She didn't see them, but she left the room, came back. It's in a different place. That's weird. So she went on TikTok and remarked on this, and people on TikTok told her, hey, you need to call the cops and have them out. And so she did. And because she was gathering quite the following on TikTok while she was doing this, she decided to go live on Thursday night while the police came with canines to sniff around the area. And much to her surprise, the canines started sniffing, and then one of them sat down, which means, no, he's not impersonating Joe Biden. It means that the canine sits when they find something. This is what drug sniffing dogs do. They brought in cadaver dogs, and the dog is sniffing around, and then the dog sat down. And Katie was pretty freaked out, as were the people who were watching on TikTok. So she says the police told her, there's still a chance that this rug could just have blood on it. It doesn't necessarily mean there's a body in my backyard. That is interesting. She does say that she wants to stress the police are not saying that they have any conclusive findings, but that's a little weird. So stand by tonight to see what is in the carpet in the backyard of Katie Santry's home on Columbus's east side. Now, for a more pleasant story, you may remember a few months ago, I think it was May, when the northern lights were surprisingly visible in the sky. The same phenomenon could happen tonight. I was at a movie last night. I saw Am I Racist last night. Phenomenal. Go see it. You will laugh. You will laugh at two things. You will laugh at the absurdity of the people spreading the race hustle of DEI and the amount of money that these grifters charge people, white people, to come in and be berated for their inherent racism is staggering. One woman early in the film, and I'll spoil it for you, she had like a dozen people in a seminar at 30 grand a piece. A dozen people in a seminar at 30 grand a piece. You got to see it to believe it, at any rate. So I didn't see the Northern Lights last night because purportedly they might have been visible last night, but they might be visible tonight. They're supposed to peak tonight between 9 p.m. and 2 a.m. I don't really understand this. It says that the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration says that you can see the northern lights here when there are strong geomagnetic storms between level G1 and level G3. All right, true confession. I hope I'm past the statute of limitations on this. I hated science in school. I got A's in science. My coach was my science teacher. You connect the dots. If today's storm hits G3 in strength, it could bring the northern lights back to Ohio. What were the G forces at work in May? It was a G5, the most extreme such storm you can have, geomagnetic storm available. So, I don't know. Go out tonight, sit on your deck, sit on your patio. It's going to be a great night, going to be a pleasant night. Maybe you'll be able to see it because in May it was pretty spectacular. Lots and lots of colors, and I don't begin to understand the northern lights, and I will not attempt to explain it to you now. Now, here's something. This is kind of odd. If you would like a souvenir, how can I say? If you would like a souvenir of a night you quite possibly don't remember, then you should know that the famed sports bar in Dublin near Muirfield Village Golf Club, the Bogey Inn, will soon be selling out to the bare walls before it is leveled for another, no doubt, shopping center we don't need. So a lot of people go to the Bogey Inn during the Memorial Tournament. They remember walking in. A lot of them don't remember walking out. That's why I say you might be able to get a souvenir of a night you don't remember. It's been a fixture on Glick Road, right over the reservoir, for 4 decades, but it closed in 2022 after the owner died. They opened it back up periodically during the golf tournament. You will be able to get branded patio tables, wine glasses, a statue of Jack Daniels, bounce houses. They have bounce houses at the Bogey Inn? I missed that. I have not darkened the door of the Bogey Inn during the Memorial Tournament since my 20s. The building, as I said, will be demolished, but they are not saying yet what they will do with it. Now, if you say, whoa, I had some nights there, I wouldn't mind knowing what's available. You will get a preview of that on October the 20th. So you can go in, you can look around, and if you want to, you can bid on stuff that eventually you'll say, why did I buy this? Now, in hour number 2, there was a noticeable lack of network media coverage. Yes, I know you were shocked. A noticeable lack of network media coverage on the allegations that second gentleman Doug Emhoff, the man who has redefined masculinity, performed in a way with a former girlfriend that pretty much seems to demonstrate the worst of masculinity. Doug Emhoff accused of slapping his ex-girlfriend so hard that he spun her around. CBS, NBC, ABC, MSNBC, CNN, all over that last night? No. Also in hour number 2, we are going to talk about the U.S. Senate race in Ohio between Bernie Moreno and Sherrod Brown. If you've been watching anything online, you got YouTube TV, anything like that, even listening here to The Answer, you hear the commercials about Sherrod Brown advocating for transgender surgeries and men and boys playing girls sports. Now you're going to get hit with a new attack ad on Sherrod Brown on a different topic. We'll tell you about that next.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-885-3333. That's 800-885-3333. 800-885-3333.
Find us at 989theanswer.com. Download our apps. Stream us 24/7. WTOH and WTOH HD1, Upper Arlington, Columbus.
Breaking news this hour from townhall.com. I'm John Scott. America's employers adding a strong 254,000 jobs in September. The latest evidence the U.S. labor market is still solid. Last month's hiring gain was up sharply from the 159,000 jobs from the previous month. However, Heritage Foundation public finance economist E.J. Antoni tells the Salem Radio Network there are two trends which are cause for concern.
We continue to see this pattern of a disproportionate amount of part-time jobs being added to the economy. And when we look at the longer trend, we actually don't see growth in full-time jobs. We see those declining slowly.
The unemployment rate dropped from 4.2 to 4.1%. Also at townhall.com, with at least 215 dead from Helene. Lack of phone service and electricity continues to hinder the efforts to contact the unaccounted for. In Buncombe County, North Carolina, Sheriff Quentin Miller.
We're coming to get you. We're coming to pick up our people that's out there. Your safety and well-being are our highest priority, and we will not rest until you are secure and that you're being cared for.
Buncombe County Sheriff Quentin Miller. The union representing the striking dock workers at East and Gulf Coast ports has reached a deal to suspend a 3-day strike until January 15th to provide time to negotiate a new contract. The International Longshoremen's Association to resume working immediately. The temporary end of the strike came after the union and the U.S. Maritime Alliance, which represents ports and shipping companies, reached a tentative agreement on wages. Stocks are higher. The Dow up 117 points and the Nasdaq Composite adding 134. More at townhall.com.
Partly sunny, warm afternoon, high today 81. Partly cloudy for tonight, low 57. Sunny clouds for tomorrow, a high 77. And then clear skies tomorrow night, low 55. Sunny clouds, warm day on Sunday, breezy, the high near 82. And then clear Sunday night, low 48. Sunshine, it'll be a cooler day on Monday, the high at 67. And then sunny Tuesday, high 69. I'm Steve Williams on 98.9 FM, The Answer.
Before the most pivotal election of our lifetime, the Battleground Talkers Tour comes to Columbus. Be a part of the critical conversations that will influence the direction of America. See Bruce Hooley, Hugh Hewitt, Mike Gallagher, and special guests live on stage Tuesday, October 22nd at Genoa Church in Westerville. The Battleground Talkers Tour. Tickets start at just $5 and are available.
That'll do it for hour number one. I hope you guys have a great weekend. I can't wait for mine to start. Appreciate the audience today, really good audience, and hope you have a great time at church on Sunday. Hope it's meaningful. Hope it draws you closer to God. Really appreciate you taking time to watch the show, and with that, I'll bid you adieu for the week. See you again on Monday.